When President Uhuru Kenyatta took office exactly 1 year ago, one of his pledges was to expand economic opportunities for all, with a clear focus on manufacturing as a priority sector, a pledge that rode on the wave of high expectations that came with the advent of the devolved system of government.
For too long, our nation has exported jobs that should rightly belong to our citizens. We have focused on exporting primary products instead of value addition and manufacturing finished goods, thereby creating jobs and improving our standard of living. Today I pledge that my administration will work towards diversifying our economic base.
Almost immediately, the Jubilee administration focused its attention on addressing the high cost of doing business, which has often been cited as a major drawback to doing business in Kenya. Key reforms that were implemented include the hastening of the clearing of cargo at the Mombasa port, as well as the removal of police roadblocks along the Mombasa-Malaba highway, a move that has since increased movement of cargo along this important trade route.
With the improvement of turnaround times, for example, what happened is that our roads are now more and more congested. If you drive along the Northern Corridor, for example, you see substantial number of trucks.
In sharp contrast, though, is the enactment and implementation of the Value-Added Tax 2013 Act, which has attracted the most attention on the economic front in the last 1 year, largely because of the drastic changes it brought about in terms of ending numerous exemptions that had been extended to various economic sectors over the years.
All along I've said that we needed to change our VAT law because what we had in place, which was introduced in 1989-90, was too complicated, had too many exemptions, had too many remissions and reliefs, and as a consequence, VAT was not performing as well as it might in revenue collection.
While tax experts acknowledge that the VAT Act has boosted the government's revenue kitty, businesses and consumers alike concur that the new law has actually raised the cost of doing business.
We moved from one extreme of far too many exemptions, zero rating, reliefs, to one with almost none. We probably have one of the most advanced pharmaceutical manufacturing industries in sub-Saharan Africa. It is growing, it's much bigger, or it was growing, it's much bigger than any other parts of Africa. And yet what we have done is made their output exempt, but all their inputs taxable. Effect is the cost of production has gone up, and therefore it probably becomes cheaper to import some of these drugs, certainly from China and India, than it is to manufacture them locally.
The agricultural sector, which is Kenya's economic mainstay, has particularly borne the brunt of the VAT Act, with the cost of seed and animal feeds going up owing to the removal of VAT exemptions that were extended to inputs on those products. This being at a time when the government is turning to large-scale irrigation as a means of ensuring the country's food security.
We are relying on the small-scale farmer. At the same time, we bring in taxes that actually affect the small-scale farmers directly. If the seed is more expensive, the water is more expensive because of this tank, and so on and so on. When is this farmer going to get out of poverty?
But it was also during the first 12 months of the Jubilee government that the Public-Private Partnership came into full view. So far, the Cabinet has approved a list of 47 projects that have been prioritized to be undertaken as projects to be contracted by the national and county authorities to private entities, a step that is expected to lessen the pressure on taxpayers to raise the much-needed resources for development of essential physical infrastructure in the areas of transport and energy. And as the Jubilee administration enters its second year, observers will be keen to watch out for what the measures of the last 1 year will translate into new economic opportunities. For Citizen Business Center, I'm Bella Genga.